This is priceless.
Order! Order in the court! You won't get away with this! Help me!
Bailiff!
What are you doing? She's pregnant. Stop her. Danielle hit the courthouse floor before her mind caught up, and shock rippled through the benches. A woman in pearls hovered above her, performing innocence, while cameras lunged closer and Marcus fought to reach his wife. The judge burst in, scanning the chaos as if daylight had split open. No one yet understood why a powerful mistress would attack a pregnant black wife in court. Or what secret sat inside that housing lawsuit. This is the moment that will stun everyone. Keep watching. Welcome, story lovers. Where are you watching from? Hit the like button and drop your city name in the comments so we can see how far our story travels. Danielle Brooks was 29. When the world she'd worked so hard to keep calm began to tilt. She lived in the river flat part of a small southern city, where porches sat close enough for neighbors to trade sugar and gossip. By day, she was a middle school counselor at Greystone Academy. She knew every cracked sidewalk on the walk from the staff lot to the main doors. And she knew the way black children learned early to swallow fear, so adults would call them mature. Danielle tried to be the first safe place in their week. A steady voice that said they were not problems to be managed, but people to be understood. Her evenings were quiet and full. She cooked with music on low-graded behavior plans and waited up for her husband, Marcus, when he came off the warehouse night shift. Marcus was steady in a way that felt like Shelter's soft-spoken, careful with his hands, the kind of man who fixed a leaky faucet without announcing he'd done it. In late summer, they discovered they were expecting their first child. The baby made their apartment feel brighter, even when money was tight. Marcus started reading fatherhood blogs on his phone during breaks. Danielle started folding tiny onesies and imagining the smell of newborn skin. When Marcus's father died, he left Marcus a modest 2-bedroom house on the east edge of town. It wasn't fancy, but it meant history. Birthdays on the same hardwood. Sunday dinners in the same kitchen. Marcus promised to keep it, to honor his father's wish that the family line wouldn't be pushed out. Danielle believed that promise was safe. Still, she noticed little things at Autumn House. Some older white neighbors stared longer when Marcus parked in front of his father's place. How a realtor's SUV slowed twice in 1 week. As if someone were measuring what could be taken. Then, in October, a thin envelope arrived from the civil court. The papers claimed the house belonged to someone else. Danielle read the names twice, felt the baby shift inside her, and wondered why the air suddenly tasted like rust. She braced for winter. The lawsuit was filed by Celeste Harrington, a socialite whose face graced charity galas and lifestyle magazines. She was married to Harold Harrington, the city's most powerful developer. But everyone knew the marriage was more business than love. The filing claimed Marcus's father had signed a private agreement years earlier, trading the East Side house for debt relief from Harold's company. The document looked official at a glance, complete with a looping signature and dated seals. And the Harrington lawyers treated it like holy text. Priya Patel, the attorney Danielle and Marcus hired, studied the pages and frowned. There was no county record, no notary stamp, and no matching bank transfer. "This is either sloppy or fake," she said. But sloppy people don't usually hire the Harrington firm. Priya's warning landed heavy. In their city, money didn't just buy houses. It bought deference. At the first hearing, Celeste arrived late, gliding into the courtroom in cream silk, while staff hurried to find her a chair. She never looked at Marcus. Instead, she watched Danielle with tremendous interest, as if she were studying a target. When Danielle stepped toward the party bench, a bailiff asked her to move back for order, even though Celeste's friends were blocking the aisle. The imbalance was quiet but constant. The Harrington lawyer filed delays as if time were a weapon. Each postponement cost Marcus a shift at the warehouse, and each missed shift pinched their savings tighter. Priya pushed for the original agreement. The defense claimed it was misplaced, then being located, then unavailable. The judge accepted every excuse while cutting Priya off when she pressed. Danielle felt as if she were watching 2 different rule books crack open. Outside the courthouse, The case seeped into daily life. A local blogger wrote that Marcus was trying to swindle a respected businessman. Danielle's principal urged her to keep the matter quiet. At the grocery store, someone asked whether Marcus had ever been in trouble before. Even concern sounded like suspicion. One afternoon, Danielle drove to the inherited house with lunch. A white neighbor leaned against his fence and said, loud enough for the street, that some families should stop reaching for things they didn't earn. Danielle kept walking, cheeks burning, trying not to imagine her daughter growing up under that sentence. 2 days later, a note appeared under her wiper. Know your place. Leave what isn't yours. By November, her blood pressure had climbed. Marcus started drawing the curtains before sunset and paused at every siren. At night, Danielle woke to him pacing, whispering that he was sorry for dragging her into this. She would reach for his hand and feel how cold it was. The last hearing was scheduled for the Monday before Thanksgiving. Priya had a preliminary forensic report suggesting the signature looked traced, not natural, and she filed for a continuance so the lab could confirm it. Danielle clung to that hope on the courthouse steps as cameras waited by the door, invited by the Harringtons to witness a win. Inside, Priya presented the report clearly. But the Harrington lawyer called it a race-driven distraction, and the judge announced a short recess to review filings in his chambers. When the judge called recess, Danielle rose with care, one hand on the bench, feeling her daughter shift inside her. Celeste Harrington stood too and crossed the aisle as if this space belonged to her. Her expression stayed polished, almost bored, which made what followed feel deliberate. Celeste slammed her shoulder into Danielle. The impact jolted Danielle sideways, and before she could steady herself, Celeste drove a second shove into her belly. Danielle's heel caught on the rail. She fell hard, the sound of her body striking tile cracking through the room. Pain flared white. She folded over her stomach, trying to breathe, trying to listen for any sign that the baby was still moving. Marcus lunged forward, but bodies in the scramble blocked him for a terrifying second. Priya was already kneeling beside Danielle, calling for help and keeping her voice calm. Celeste hovered above them, lips parted in a too-late gasp, as if surprise could rewrite what everyone had seen. The news camera swung in. Gasps turned to angry murmurs. The judge burst back through the side door, taking in Danielle on the floor, Marcus shaking with fury and Celeste standing over them. "Freeze," he ordered. The room went rigid. Then he faced Celeste and asked slow and razor-clear whether she had touched the pregnant woman. Celeste opened her mouth to deny it, but the truth was already alive in every witness's eyes. Dear audience, where are you watching from? Drop your city name in the comments. Today, paramedics arrived quickly, lifting Danielle onto a stretcher while Marcus clung to her hand. In the ambulance, she heard her own heartbeat and faint beneath it, the baby's. At the hospital, bruising spread across her abdomen, but doctors stabilized both of them. The fear, though, stayed. Back in court, the judge reviewed security footage from 2 cameras. It showed Celeste's deliberate shove and Danielle's attempt to step away. When the hearing reconvened that afternoon, the courtroom was packed and hushed. Celeste was called forward, and this time there were no favors. The judge cited her for assault, contempt of court, and witness intimidation, ordered her taken into custody, and reprimanded the Harrington lawyers for delay tactics. 2 weeks later, the state lab confirmed that the agreement's signature had been traced and forged. The case was dismissed with prejudice. Marcus was awarded damages, and county investigators opened a fraud inquiry into Harold's company. The house stayed in the Brooks family not as a prize, but as a home. Danielle healed slowly. Then began speaking at schools and community meetings about the quiet ways racism works, rules that bend for some, suspicion that follows others, violence disguised as entitlement. Neighbors who had doubted them apologized, and Danielle accepted softly, knowing change begins with discomfort. Her daughter, Aaliyah, was born healthy in March. Danielle held her and wondered if a courtroom can be used to break someone. What happens when the same room is used to tell the truth? Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more powerful stories.